Michael, your travel insider, and I would like to say hello from Kyoto, Japan. You walk down the street here and you see people dressed very, very elegant. And it's on a Saturday or on a Sunday and they're very elegantly dressed. Or I've seen many, many women walking down the street here in kimonos. Kimonos are traditional Japanese dress that they had, for women for I don't know how many hundreds of years, but they still wear them here. So it's a really, really interesting place to come and see. But I'm going to have a friend of mine tell you a little bit more here about kimonos and that kind of thing. Hey, today I am in Kyoto, Japan, and I'm going to have my good friend Saya explain the difference to you between a kimono and what's the other one called?
Hakama.
And a hakama. So this is Saya.
Hi.
Say hi, Saya.
Yes.
What's the difference between a kimono
Kimono and hakama. Can you see that?
Yes.
The red one is kimono and the blue one is hakama. Hakama is for like graduation ceremony in university, and then like hakama is only for graduation ceremony. And then like red one is kimono. Kimono is you can wear it anytime, and then maybe especially in Kyoto. Kyoto is really famous.
So kimono is very popular.
Yeah, kimono is really popular especially Kyoto. Actually, you can see the women wearing kimono on the street, even if it's the street.
Yeah, I saw about 10 yesterday.
10 years.
Yeah, just walking down the street.
Yes.
Very cool, yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Just thought I'd have her explain that because she could explain a little better to me, but I've seen women walking around here in kimonos, just walking down the street. I probably saw 10 yesterday, women just walking down the street wearing kimonos, so I thought that was pretty cool. But I thought I'd have Saya here explain it to you.
It was really cool. In Kyoto, they had the sidewalks were divided where you had people, you could walk or you could ride the bikes, all these little shops and everything were decorated really unique. The women were dressed really cool that worked in the shops. I just thought the whole place was pretty neat. Even the children were dressed nice. They had these places where you can get desserts. Desserts were delicious. And at the same time, even though Kyoto has maintained its tradition, it's also kind of like a very modern city. So it's really interesting the way they've kind of just mixed up everything there. They've got little like places where you do laundry. One of the cool things I saw was the incense shop. The incense shop had all these displays of all these different kinds of incense that the people used. And I just thought it was pretty cool because I've never seen anything like that in the United States. One of the other cool places was a fan shop. The fan shop was really cool. They had like hundreds of different types of fans that you could use for keeping cool and all that. There were two ladies in my hotel that let me take close-ups of the kimonos, which I thought was really, really nice. And even the little pack thing they wear on their back, that thing was really cool. But Kyoto is just kind of a neat town. It's not big like Tokyo. There's about 500,000 people that live there, but it's all these real little streets, little shops, and then people live like in between there, and the entrances to their houses, they're decorated really, really nice, and you see women walking around in kimonos and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's also a very modern city where you've got, everything modern is also right there. I even saw one guy who was dressed like old-fashioned, old-style in like a kimono, but it was for a man. I thought that was pretty cool. But you also see all these shops all over the place with kimonos in there, and ladies go in there shopping around, they can buy them. One of the other cool things I saw was the toilet. The toilets there, they rinse your bottom and then they dry it off.
So now let me show you the apartment I stayed at when I was in Kyoto. Kyoto's cool because it's got an ancient, like an older, area, and then it's got the newer, like modern kind of stuff. But this is the entrance to the hotel of where I stayed when I was there. And when you went in, they had like bicycles and artwork and that kind of thing on the wall. But one of the coolest things I thought was they had this shoe rack. Because the shoe rack for everybody was staying there. You don't see that in the United States. So I just thought that was kind of neat. But I went to the apartment, and when you walk in the apartment, you're going to come into the kitchen area. So if you like to do any cooking at all, this particular apartment was fully furnished, and every single thing you could possibly imagine was in there for cooking. Plates, pots, pans, dishes. Every single thing you could possibly want. But what I really liked about it was the bedroom. The reason I liked the bedroom is because it was so spacious. They had 2 queen-size beds that were side to side, so the room was really wide, and I really liked it just because I didn't feel like I was cramped at all in this place. But the guy had the whole place set up electronically to where you could work from the room if you'd like to, and I just thought that was really nice because, he had every type of hookup that you could possibly want. Things to, different outlets and things, 2 or 3 different ones around the desk, which was really, really nice. But the bathroom, you had a shower, and then directly across from the shower was the vanity. And so if you wanted to like shave and stuff in the morning, wash your hands and things like that. But the thing that I liked the most, without comparison, was this big bathtub that they had. It had a big old clawfoot, like an antique bathtub, which I thought was really cool. But Japan in general is expensive compared to a lot of the other countries I visit. And you also had washer, dryer, and a balcony, and an outdoor grill and things like that. So it was really, really nice. But again, Japan's expensive compared to other places that I go. So if you want to go, just be prepared. You're going to spend a bit more money in Japan as opposed to other countries. But overall, I mean, you can't argue with it. I mean, Japan is the best run country I've ever been to so far out of about 64 countries.
So now I'm on the high-speed train going from Kyoto to Tokyo, back up to Tokyo. This train is what they call the bullet train. This thing is, that's right there. But this thing moves at, I think, 278 kilometers per hour, which is about 175 miles an hour, roughly 175, 180 miles an hour. But man, this thing is moving. It's, I don't know if you can see out there, but boy, it's rolling along. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you because this thing, they have trains all over this country. The trains run from one end to the other, the whole country. You could be anywhere in this country within about 4 to 5 hours. I mean, from top to bottom, from side to side or wherever you want to go. But it's pretty neat. I wish we had more trains like this in the U.S., but the train system here is phenomenal. A couple of other things pertaining to the efficiency of this country. Every taxi I've taken has been immaculate inside. I mean, like spotless inside. And every driver of every taxi I've ever been in has on a uniform and white gloves. I feel like I was literally being driven around by my own private chauffeur everywhere I went in a taxi. It was amazing. I have not seen one homeless person in this country, not one. And the entire time I've been in this country, I've been here 4 days. The entire time I've been here, I've seen one police officer, one in the whole country. I don't know if that's just coincidence or what, but I tell you, this is a very, very efficiently run country. Welcome to Nico, Japan. Nico is located about an hour and a half north of Tokyo. You get on the train and come up, bullet train. Anyway, you take the bullet train, come up about an hour and a half north of Tokyo, and you come to a place called Nico. Nico is a mountain town. It's there's snow on the mountains here, I think, just about all year. But what's really cool about Nico is it has, on the outskirts, a place called the Toshogu Shrine. The Toshogu Shrine was built in the year 1617. It has architecture like I have never seen before. Look at this building here behind me. Look at this. Isn't that something? Wow, I think that's amazing. But the architecture of the other buildings here is just as magnificent as that. But this place is, I tell you, of all the places I've been so far in Japan, this place is the most interesting place I've ever been. Mainly because the architecture here is just so stunning and fantastic. If you come to Japan, make sure you come up to Nico, because Nico is really like old history Japan. It's where the traditions are still just like they were 300-400 years ago. I mean, they have the architecture and everything in the buildings is stunning. It's just really, really something to say. I mean, take a look down here behind me. Look at these buildings. I mean, boy, it's really, really something. And we're way up in the mountains here, so I don't know, it's just kind of a spiritual place. It's really, really, really impressive up here. But I wanted to show you that because I just wanted to show you the architecture here. It's like, now I really feel like I'm in Japan, so to speak. What I always thought it was going to be like in Japan, this is the place. This is really, now I feel like I'm here. There are Buddhist temples, and there's also a mausoleum of a guy who used to be a samurai. Yeah, so pretty cool. But boy, they can't get over the architecture here. It's just absolutely fantastic. And I couldn't talk about Japan without talking about Tokyo. Tokyo is ultra modern, or it's ultra traditional. Really, really interesting place. But there's 13 million people in the metropolis area here. The city was started in 1603. And in the surrounding area, in the metro area, there's almost 38 million people that live here. 38 million. So it is a huge city. But I got to tell you, I've been in a lot of cities around the world. I would have to say this is probably the most efficiently run city of any city I've ever been to, anywhere. I've never seen a place like this. There's trains, they run double stacked, they're all through the city. I thought London had one of the most intricate train systems I'd ever seen until I came here. The train system in Japan, I'd have to say I rank it as #1 of anywhere I've ever been. I've never seen so many trains and so many different levels and so many places in the station that you can go. But it's really, really something to see. So all in all, Japan's a pretty fascinating place. I mean, you can see women walking around in kimonos. You can go to Buddhist temples. Here in Tokyo, they have either like neon lit skyscrapers, or you can see temples at the same time. So like I said, it's either very modern or very traditional. But what's nice with Japan is they've hung on to their traditions as they've developed the country. And the country is the most well-run country I've ever been to anywhere I've ever been. This place is, of all the places I've ever been, this place really ranks as #1 as far as efficiency and how well the country is run. But it's a pretty fantastic place to come see. I also have to tell you, as far as the cities I've been to, of all the cities I've ever been to anywhere in the world, I have never seen a city where the people are so elegantly dressed as they are in Japan. In all of Japan, I mean, not just Tokyo, but the whole country, everybody's dressed nice. I was in Kyoto, I've been up north, Nico, been here in Tokyo, and everywhere I've gone, everybody is dressed very, very elegantly. I mean, the men are in suits and ties, and the women are just, very elegantly, nicely dressed. Also, everybody here seems to be very, very friendly. Everybody I've asked directions, anything, everybody's always been very helpful, smiling, very, very warm. And one lady walked me through 3 different train stops to take me to the right one. I couldn't believe it. But they're just really, really helpful. Everybody's very nice, polite, and dressed really well. So just an amazing place. The city, I mean, look at the city.
So now let's talk about my monthly expenses when I was living in Kyoto. If you lived up in Tokyo, it probably would be more expensive than Kyoto. I'm not positive, but I would think it probably would be. But my rent in Kyoto was only $9.50 a month. I say only $9.50 because a lot of the rents were higher than that, but I found a pretty good deal, I thought. So about $9.50 for the month. Groceries ran about $2.40 for the month. Utilities, surprisingly, were just $66 for the month. I was pretty impressed by that. Restaurants eating out was about $180. My mobile phone was about $40. Laundry, $35. Water was $17, and my transportation was $60. So the recurring total was about $1,588, which tends to be quite a bit more than a lot of the other countries I visit. But I really like Japan, so I was okay with that. Now, I also had optional. I put in $45 for a gym membership because some people go to the gym and some people don't. And also alcohol is also another option. I put another $80 for alcohol if you want to, get drinks every now and then and things like that. So with the 2 options added on, it would bring it to $1,713. So overall, Japan, as I mentioned, is a bit more expensive than a lot of the other countries that I spend time in. But I just wanted to share this, the monthly expense report with you, because if you ever choose to go to Japan, you can do it pretty economically if you'll search around for a decent place to live that's not too expensive. And I just absolutely love this country. This country, in my opinion, is the best run country of any country I've ever been to so far. I thought it just ran like a Swiss watch. I mean, there wasn't any trash anywhere. There was no homeless people. I saw 1 policeman the whole time I was in Kyoto. It was unbelievable. So anyway, just a really fantastic place to live. And they have a lot of history there, and they've really held on to their traditions, which is also very nice. While the country's one of the probably foremost countries in the world technologically as far as manufacturing and things like that. So it's developed in that respect, but they've also held on to their traditions, which is also, it's just a really nice thing to experience.
All in all, I would have to give Japan a 2 thumbs up, not just 1. If you get a chance, if you're ever traveling and you ever want a nice place to go, Japan is definitely ranks right at the very top of my list as far as how nice everything is here. Everything's just really, really nice here. You gotta have a little bit of money. It is a little bit expensive. But other than that, it is a fantastic place. You cannot go wrong with Japan.
A lot of people ask me, they say, Michael, how in the world can you afford to travel all over the world non-stop like you do? Well, the answer to that question and many others can be found at my website,
travelinsiders.com.